Help me to reach 2,000 subscribers. The room spun in slow motion as I watched my husband's smile freeze midair. His glass of champagne tilted slightly, light catching the rim, before he placed it down with mechanical precision. I was still in my ex's arms, our slow dance ending as the last note of Unchained melody faded into the hum of polite applause. The moment should have been harmless, nostalgic even. But as Daniel turned away, shoulders stiff and jaw tight, a silent cold spread through me that no apology could thaw. I hadn't meant for it to happen. Not like that. It was our 10th wedding anniversary, held at the same seaside resort where Daniel had proposed. I had planned every detail: white lilies, soft golden lights, our favorite jazz quartet, friends, family, and a few familiar faces from the past. Among them was Noah, my ex, the man I had once thought I'd marry before life redirected me toward Daniel's warmth and stability. When I saw Noah at the bar earlier that evening, it was like seeing a photograph come to life. Same crooked smile, same blue-gray eyes that used to make me lose sense of time. We talked politely, distant but comfortable. He told me he'd been invited by my best friend Lily, who thought it would be funny. Her humor had always teetered on cruel. Daniel had laughed when he saw Noah. "Well, this is awkward," he'd said with his usual good-natured ease. He'd even offered him a drink. That was Daniel, too kind, too trusting. I thought the night would move on quietly. I thought wrong. When the band began that song, the one Noah and I had once claimed as ours, he extended his hand half-jokingly. "For old time's sake," he said. The crowd around us egged it on, thinking it harmless nostalgia. I hesitated, then nodded, laughing nervously. For a few moments it felt like being pulled into a dream I hadn't realized I missed. The sway, the scent of his cologne, the faint pressure of his hand on my back. And then I saw Daniel watching us, smiling but not really smiling. His eyes were glassy, his body perfectly still. Something inside me broke. He left before the song ended. The next hour blurred into a parade of fake laughter and whispered pity. I slipped out of the ballroom and found Daniel outside by the cliffs, where the sea stretched black beneath the stars. The air was cool and his back was to me. "Daniel," I whispered. He didn't turn. "Did you enjoy your dance?" The calm in his voice frightened me more than anger ever could. It was just a song. Everyone was watching. It didn't mean anything. He finally faced me, eyes full of something heavy and distant. "Didn't it?" Silence swallowed the wind. I reached for his hand, but he stepped back. "You know," he said slowly, "I used to think I wasn't the jealous type. That trust could be enough. But watching you with him, it didn't feel like a dance. It felt like a memory you wanted to relive." His words hit deeper than I expected, because maybe for a moment he was right. "It wasn't that," I said weakly. "I just didn't want to make a scene." He gave a short, bitter laugh. "So instead you made a performance." I wanted to tell him he was wrong, that he was overreacting. But the truth sat heavy on my tongue. I had felt something when Noah held me. Not love. Not desire. Just the ghost of what used to be. And that was betrayal enough. When we returned home that night, Daniel said nothing. He moved through the house like a stranger, collecting his watch, his keys, the book he always kept on the nightstand. "Are you leaving?" I asked, panic rising. "I need air," he said quietly. "I'll stay at a hotel for a while." The sound of the door closing was soft, but it shattered something inside me. For days I tried calling, texting, leaving messages that went unanswered. The house felt colder without him, the silence accusing. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. Every reflection reminded me of my own stupidity. On the 5th day, Daniel finally came back. He looked exhausted, eyes shadowed. "We need to talk," he said. My heart thudded painfully. "Please, Daniel. Don't let this ruin us. It was one mistake. I didn't cheat. I just..." "Just what?" he asked sharply. "Just danced with a man who used to own your heart? Just looked at him like he was a missing part of you." I broke then, tears falling unchecked. "I don't love him. I never did after you. I was just caught off guard." He studied me for a long time, then pulled out his phone. He played a short clip. Someone had recorded the dance. My laughter. My face leaning too close. Noah's hand brushing my cheek. From that angle, it didn't look innocent. The room tilted again. "That's what everyone saw," Daniel said. Including my parents. Including your friends. I shook my head, sobbing. It's not what it looks like. He sighed heavily. Maybe not. But what matters is that it felt real enough to break something between us. He started walking toward the door again, and I grabbed his arm. Daniel, please. I'll do anything. He looked at me then, and for the first time I saw tears in his eyes. You already did everything, he whispered. That night I sat alone, watching the video over and over until it blurred into nothing but motion and regret. I hated how I smiled in it, how I seemed to forget the man who had given me everything. A week passed, then another. I sent him one final message. I still believe in us. He never replied. Months later, I received an envelope in the mail. Divorce papers. Tucked inside was a photograph, our wedding photo, creased and worn. On the back, in Daniel's handwriting, were 6 words. I hope you find your old song. I pressed it to my chest, crying until my throat burned. Sometimes I still dream of that night, the music, the laughter, the look in his eyes before he walked away. And I wonder if betrayal always begins the same way, not with lies or deceit, but with something far more dangerous. Nostalgia. Because nostalgia doesn't announce itself as a threat. It sneaks in like a familiar tune, pretending to be harmless, until you start to dance. And by the time you realize what you've done, the person you love is already gone.